5,000 likes to this video, we will upload more patriotic news. Thank you. It's about time. Look who the GOP is finally planning on investigating, you'll be happy. Late months have been loaded with witch hunts pursuing the president and his staff. However, in all actuality, there are different figures who warrant investigation. Previous leaders and staff members have been planning something sinister, now and again criminal action. Be that as it may, where are their investigations? Why aren't they conveyed to justice? Things being what they are, it might conceivably happen. Via Breitbart, House conservatives will launch an effort to conduct an official House Court Committee-led congressional inquiry into former Attorney General Loretta Lynch and fired former FBI Director James Comey, a notorious leaker. Breitbart News can be confirmed exclusively. Reps. Matt Gaetz, RFL, Andy Biggs, RAS, Mike Johnson, RLA, and Jim Jordan, RO, have drafted an amendment that would compel government cooperation with a congressional probe on Lynch's and Comey's activities. Specifically, the draft of which was obtained by Breitbart News would compel the production of documents and evidence regarding Lynch's order to Comey to mislead the American people by stating he should refer to the investigation of mismanaging classified information and use of an unauthorized email server by former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton as a matter, rather than a criminal investigation. The amendment specifically presses the Department of Justice to cooperate with the congressional inquiry that would create, making it easier for the Attorney General Jeff Sessions to examine these and other matters laid out. There have been various reports of Obama staff members doing a lot of insidious things. Rice unmasked names and illicitly leaked them to the press. Lynch endeavored to kill the examination concerning Hillary Clinton's email server. Furthermore, Comey released private records to people in general. It's unmistakable some crooked stuff was going ahead in the past organization. However, no one has been faced or considered responsible. The Democrats seek after Russia collusion, with zero proof to back it up. Ample opportunity has already passed. The genuine culprits in government are conveyed to justice. It's an opportunity that Comey, Lynch, and every other person had their feet held to the fire. How about we discover exactly what went on, and whose fault? Who knows? Possibly old Hillary will be conveyed to shoulder. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H. T. Breitbart. Federal judge just went against President Trump and placed Americans at risk and grave danger. 1,444 illegals just escaped deportation indefinitely. President Trump has promised to shield America from illicit movement and terrorism. That requires that numerous illegals as of now living in this nation should be deported. However, what happens when these immigrants confront an awful destiny in their nations of origin? As indicated by one judge, that should give them an opportunity to battle to remain. Via Daily Caller, a federal judge in Michigan has blocked indefinitely the deportation of 1,400 Iraqi illegal immigrants, a decision that allows them to challenge their removal in federal courts. U.S. District Judge Mark Goldsmith granted a preliminary injunction to lawyers from the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, earlier in the name of a group of Iraqis, reports CBS News. He said the suspension would give illegal immigrants time to appeal their orders of removal, which immigration authorities suddenly enforced following a decision by Iraq in March to again accept repatriation of its citizens. In a 24-page order, Goldsmith argued that the government's interest in deporting Iraqi illegal aliens, many of whom are Kurds or Chaldean Christians, does not outweigh the concerns that they could face persecution in their native country. Each petitioner faces the risk of torture or death on the basis of residence in America and publicized criminal records. Many will also face persecution as a result of a particular religious affiliation, he wrote. While cost and efficiency in administering the immigration system are not illegitimate government concerns, such interests are blooming to the point of evaporation when weighed against potential death petitioners may suffer. It's actually illegal immigrants ought not to be permitted to remain in this nation. In any case, a large portion of these workers is Christians, minorities in the nation they fled. To come back to Iraq, particularly to ISIS-controlled districts, would mean unavoidable demise. A great part of the discourse of permitting refugees from the Middle East spins around Muslim transients. Should they be denied section into the U.S. or, then again are sent back to their homes, they are generally protected, in light of the fact that they make up the larger part populace. Be that as it may, Christians from the Middle East are routinely oppressed, abused, and murdered. They are abused by Muslim majority part governments. Along these lines, it is ideal for the U.S. to send these individuals back to Iraq when they confront unavoidable passing. That will in all likelihood be the situation unless they have sufficient energy to set up a resistance. This decision won't stop extradition always, simply give them an opportunity to contend their case. Maybe a couple will have the capacity to stay, yet lawfully, as indicated by our guidelines. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT The Daily Call. The silence is broken. Jeb Bush just attacked President Trump and makes shocking pronouncement about him. The vast majority of us have officially overlooked fizzled presidential candidate, Jeb Bush. He was thumped out of the primaries at an early stage when the nation chose it didn't need a rehash of the 2000s. However, this washout is back once more, spewing his scorn and severity at our commander-in-chief. Via Conservative Tribune, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush broke his silence about President Donald Trump's possible involvement with the Russians, and it was a reminder why he failed so miserably during his bid for the GOP presidential nomination. Bush was speaking at a Z-Fest in New York on Saturday when he not only attacked the president, but fellow Republicans. If your opponent does things that your head explodes on, if Barack Obama did something like it's related to Russia, you say this is outrageous, all this stuff, then when your guy does the same thing, have the same passion to be critical, Bush said, according to The Hill. Bush went on to claim that Trump was not a real Republican. He's not really affiliated with the party, just to be clear, Bush said, according to Oxy's coverage of Bush's speech at the event. He's Trump, discuss sour grapes. Jeb is as yet disturbed that he lost his opportunity to be president. The man scarcely has the administration and resolve of his dad or more seasoned sibling. The truth is, he didn't have what it takes to lead this nation. Yet, rather than supporting the GOP, or at any rate, our president, this loser is assaulting him. Why do we mind what Jeb needs to state? He speaks to a failed tradition of American legislative issues past. He speaks to all the corruption and insider elitism that has ruined the two Republicans and Democrats. The way that he is bouncing on the Russian talk-mongering fleeting trend demonstrates he's another of the foe. Much like the Democrats and liberal media, he can't scrutinize Trump head-on, so he pushes deceives ruin the president. This is all likely because of the way that Donald Trump never offered him a position in his organization. So now the child is crying. Be that as it may, everything sums to nothing. Jeb lost. His vocation in legislative issues is long finished. No one considerations what he needs to state. He's just humiliating himself. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HT Conservative. Brand new conservative law just passed. The federal government is about to force Governor Jerry Brown to follow this law no matter what. Since the election of Donald Trump, liberals still in office have battled. Rather than working with the president, they've pledged to restrict the greater part of his intents to make America great again. They have attempted to undermine his arrangements, making their states far less sheltered. Be that as it may, now it would appear that two bills will compel them to go along, somehow. Via Fox News, House Republicans took action Thursday to crack down on illegal immigrants in the cities that shelter them. One bill passed by the House would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, and another, Cade's Law, would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the United States. Cade's Law, which would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the United States and caught, passed with a vote of 257 to 157, with 1 Republican voting no and 24 Democrats voting yes. Kate's law is named for Kate Steinle, and a San Francisco woman killed by an illegal immigrant who was in the United States. Despite multiple deportations, the 2-year anniversary of her death is on Saturday. The other bill, which would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, passed with a vote of 228-195 with 3 Democrats voting yes and 7 Republicans voting no. The brutal murder of Steinle has catapulted the issue of illegal criminal aliens into the national spotlight. Alleged shooter Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez was deported 5 times and had 7 felony convictions. Kate's law will ensure that deported illegals confront genuine penalties should they re-emerge the United States. The expectation is that there will never again be victims like Kate Steinle, who was executed by a repeated illegal. The second law is straightforwardly gone for states like California, who pledged to challenge the government in protecting criminal aliens. This law would deny elected assets to urban communities and states that decline to hand over these criminals to the legislature. When they are passed, places like San Francisco will be unable to keep being a sanctuary city. Most states depend on government assets to keep up their cities. With those awards gone, they will be stuck in an unfortunate situation. What amount do you want to wager those illegals will be punted back? Finished the border? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. T Fox News. Knockout. Sanctuary cities just got $380 million surprise from President Trump. He just drops brutal ultimatum. While Attorney General Sessions and President Trump have had their all-around advertised contrasts, there is no doubt that Mr. Sessions is a viable warrior in the fight to gain the power of our borders and enforce the country's immigration laws. He's on a mission, and the outcomes are now being felt. One approach to standing out enough to be noticed is to intrude on their stream of cash. There are few individuals more discouraged than chose authorities who just came up short on other individuals' cash to spend. It's a debacle keeping pace with being reprimanded for their choices and lead. We misrepresent a bit, as there are numerous upright open hirelings who are deserving of our help. Be that as it may, we don't misrepresent when we guarantee they are elusive in sanctuary cities. Attorney General Sessions simply destroyed the day for a considerable measure of liberal lawmakers when he declared that before $380 million in grants would be released to sanctuary cities, they should consent to participate with and help immigration and customs enforcement, and in addition, the Department of Homeland Security apprehend illegal aliens inside their jurisdictions. No consistency rises to no cash. A Department of Justice official told reporters that recipients of the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program for the fiscal year 2017 will have to comply with a law that mandates the sharing of immigration information with federal officials. It would also allow the Department of Homeland Security officials to access detention facilities to meet with immigrants and notify DHS 48 hours before release of an immigrant that DHS wants to detain. Around $380 million is given by the federal government to local, state, and tribal law enforcement agencies through this grant. Our Attorney General is not playing games. He is not kidding about government immigration laws, and the individuals who block their authorization will pay a cost. So-called sanctuary policies make us all less safe because they intentionally undermine our laws and protect illegal aliens who have committed crimes, Sessions said in a statement. These policies also encourage illegal immigration and even trafficking by perpetuating the lie that in certain cities, illegal aliens can live outside the law. This can have tragic consequences, like the 10 deaths we saw in San Antonio this weekend. As part of completing the Department of Justice's top priority in reducing violence, we must encourage these sanctuary jurisdictions to change their policies and partner with federal law enforcement to remove criminals. This bodes well that one nearly feels constrained to impart to with everybody we know. The Liberals will shout since this hits specifically at their push to import no less than 1 million illegals who would then be able to be changed over to U.S. subjects who would then be able to be required to demonstrate their increase by voting in favor of Democrats. Consequently, the Haven City development, as has been noted on this site sometime recently, is basically a daintily camouflaged push to make new Democratic voters. The issue is that a segment of these unlawful foreigners is unsafe and savage hoodlums. Furthermore, obviously, every one of them is lawbreakers, as in they violated our country's movement laws to enter the nation as opposed to following the techniques for doing as such as given by law. It is urging to see Attorney General Sessions gaining ground in disassembling the risky arrangements of the fizzled Obama organization as he tries to implement our country's laws. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. The Daily